Well, I haven't been in here in quite a while, and I've taken the truck on a few off-road trips, so I haven't really cleaned up too much. But other than being filthy, everything looks really good in here. I checked the wheel bearings. They seemed really solid. The steering rack seemed solid. All the heims and the uniballs were really solid. So looks like this is just going to be pretty simple, honestly. I really didn't want to have to do too much maintenance before Durham Town, but it looks like I really won't have to do much at all. So obviously I'll bring some spare parts. I'm going to bring some extra hubs and uniballs and heims and things like that, just for worst case scenario, because I am going to be driving the truck up and then driving it down. So I've got to make it home. So that's why I'm going to bring some extra stuff just to ensure that happens, given any worst case scenario. So, all right, it's time to take out these bypasses. All loaded up and ready to go. I'm bringing my rear shocks just in case we decide to revalve those or go with a different set of shocks that Riley has. The original plan was to go with some 3.0 by 18s, but they just won't be ready in time for Durham Town. So we're just trying to figure out what to do with that. May end up going with a 2.5 by 18 bypass that he has with larger hoses and fittings for a little bit more oil flow, and then revalving those. So that'll be an option, hopefully. Of course, the fronts are here, and then these are coilovers, and they're from Ethan Hurd, and his Instagram, I think, is Hurd's 4x4. I'll link it down in the description, but he's one of my best friends, and he needs these revalved for his Ranger that he's got. So I'm going to bring those to Riley since I'm already going to see him. So that'll be really nice for Ethan to have those revalved and the truck running a little bit smoother. And we'll take a look at where we're at now with the hovercraft machine. It actually looks gnarly. Pulling up to Riley's place. Look at his truck. Ooh.
Primary open process for long haul connectors on people. So you would have it set up as fait accompli, where you have criminal.
I have fast forwarded quite a bit here. It's the next day after going to Riley to get the shocks revalved. And while we had them open, we did a rebuild. So between Ethan's 2 shocks and the 4 bypasses that I have, it was a really long day. So I didn't get to do the recording that I had planned. And I got home pretty late last night and threw in the revalved bypasses in the front and torqued everything down, marked all my bolts. And a couple days ago, Ethan had come over and he helped me bleed the front brakes. So everything is all set in the front finally. This morning, I'm going to pick up the bed cage from Powder Coat and the bed brace. Mess. And then these shocks Riley gave me, they're the same 2.5 by 18s that I had before, except they have some larger fittings and reservoir hose. So, also when we opened them up and revalved them, so they're a lot stiffer than the other ones. So it's going to be hopefully riding really, really well with the added weight I put in the back. So really, really excited to test this out. So yeah, I'm exhausted. It's been a really long few days. I really wish I would have recorded more, but I just don't have the time between how much work I have to do, and we're a week out from leaving. So this time in 7 days, I'll be heading out, and I work quite a few of those days on my normal job. So I'm not going to have every day until then to work on it. So today I'm going to get the truck running and operating. So bed cage on, shocks hooked up, maybe drive around town a little bit, see how it feels. And then I have a customer's truck because, you know what, this is really expensive. So I work on other vehicles, other Tacomas and things like that on the side to help supplement the income to fund the truck build. So this truck is super clean. He's wanting me to put some Bilstein 5100 shocks on the front, and then I'm going to weld new cam tabs for his alignment, so they're nice and beefy. He doesn't have any current issues, I don't think, with his with the tabs he's got on now, but you know, a lot of people do that just ahead of time to be proactive and make sure it doesn't become an issue. So yeah, this truck is really clean. I like it a lot. So maybe I'll film a little bit of that and a little bit of working on this today. So we'll see how that goes. Got a little bit of dust on it, but man, this is so clean looking. It's time to slap it on. Don't mind the sweat and grimy handprints, but holy cow, I love that. Here's the bed brace. And this looks so clean. So happy with how this turned out. Wow. In order to charge the shocks with nitrogen, I have to have them fully extended. fully drooped out. So I went ahead and undid the limit straps and had to take the tires off, because with them on, I won't be able to fully droop the suspension. You can see that there. And again, this isn't strapped, so it's gonna be much less travel than this, but that's a pretty insane amount. Just looking at it, it looks pretty nutty. I'm gonna top off the bump stops as well with nitrogen while I'm in there. And then the rear of the truck is gonna be ready to go. I mean, pretty much the whole truck's gonna be ready. Except for the harnesses, I'm still waiting on those from Blaze Off-Road. I'm not sure if they're gonna be here in time or not. So I do have a big mess of Baja Designs harnesses that came with the truck for some of the lights, but I would have to splice them and make my own harnesses, and I do not have time for that. So there's a chance that for this event I may not have the lights hooked up, which kind of sucks, but it is what it is. Otherwise, everything else will be pretty much exactly where I wanted it to be. So I'll give you a little reference here. Check out the Crocs. That's a lot. Unstrapped, let's see what it is unstrapped. So the unstrapped travel, 20 and a half. I am so exhausted. It's blisteringly hot outside, but I managed to get everything assembled and put back together. Everything's charged up with nitrogen. Look at that powder coat. Oh, it's so nice. I went a little fancy. I did some heat shrink around the hose clamps, just to make it that little extra bit fancy. So the only thing that's left, like I was saying earlier, is wiring up all the lights. I've got to mount the Garmin unit, which isn't going to be that bad. And then I also have to wire the second battery, but that's not going to be too difficult. And then of course I have to hook up the red arc unit. So, but really it's not too much left. It's finally time for a test drive though. Well, I went for a test drive, and when I came back, I saw this oil here, and it is power steering fluid. So when I was out doing the test drive, I did hit a curb, obviously on purpose, just to test out the suspension to see how it felt. And I think what happened with the steering rack is that it kind of displaced, there you go, focus. It displaced that shaft and allowed a little bit of oil to shoot out, out around the bottom here. It's not actively dripping or leaking right now, but I think it literally just shot out when the front of the truck hit the curb. Because this is all really solid here, and the weakest point now is the steering rack and that little seal there. So it hasn't leaked at all, just sitting here, but I think that's what happened. So I'm gonna keep an eye on that. I'm gonna be bringing an extra steering rack with me, an OEM steering rack to Durham Town. So if this ends up leaking and doesn't work, I have one to swap out, even though I really, really, really don't want to do that. I'll have it as an extra. So we'll just keep an eye on that. But otherwise, ouch. Yeah, watch out for these things. Okay. Otherwise, everything went really well. So I did a few hits in some abandoned parking lots, and the suspension just soaked it right up. So it felt much better with the stiffer valving. But the true test, of course, is going to be Durham Town. So now that my truck's finished, at least for now, it's time to work on this one. This truck's finished. Bilstein's in the rear. Bilstein 5100s in the front. I previously installed JVAs for him, these upper control arms. And then, of course, I did the cam tabs that you can't see back there. Welded those in. And it's looking much better. Sitting nice. I'm focusing back onto my truck, and I'm gonna get this secondary battery secured and the red arc system wired up. At least that's the goal. It is getting dark, so I'm not sure exactly how much I'm gonna be able to get done, but I'm gonna go at it. Well, I drove the truck to work yesterday after working on it, and yeah. Power steering fluid is everywhere. So this rack has to come out now. Really not excited about that. But luckily enough, I had some downtime at work, and I was able to hook up the red arc unit and the Garmin unit. The wiring's a little bit all over the place right now, but everything's fully functional. The red arc unit is charging the secondary battery when the truck's running, and the Garmin unit is already paired to my phone. So all I've got to do is just hook up all the lights and the harnesses when they get here. So that's finished. That was a huge task. It took me, I want to say, to do all that, probably about 4 hours or so. So honestly, less time than I thought it was going to take me, but I was able to get it done. So, man, the more I'm thinking about this, the more I'm dreading it. So again, that's leaking, and this garage is a mess right now, but this is the backup rack that I have. And this was also leaking. So, and I can tell from, it's not this boot, it's this boot right here. So look at that. See the color change in the oil there? So this was on there like this, and I had power steering fluid leaking. So that's minor compared to what this is. It's literally just dumping power steering fluid. I have to drive the truck to Daytona this afternoon, and I'm gonna get it tuned by RC Tuning. So in order to do that, I'm bringing a few pints of power steering fluid just so I can make it there. And then I'll swap the rack in a couple days when I have time. All right, so we're out here, and I am waiting in line to get the truck tuned again by RC Tuning. And I got to talk to the owner on the phone about kind of what I wanted for the truck, and he gave me a few really good options. So one of the things that he was talking about was that he'll take my shift points in a normal mode and bring the shift points just slightly higher, because what was happening is with the anytime locker I have, it was spinning the tires, and then as soon as I was starting to get momentum and traction and getting up to go, the truck would downshift. And so that would immediately just kill all the whatever power this thing has, because, you know, it's not very powerful at all. But just changing those shift points up a lot higher is going to help the truck tremendously to help me keep that speed and momentum at, you know, to hit the jumps and stuff like that. So I'll have the normal mode, and then he's going to have me drive around and do some data logging. And then they'll be able to look at the computer and see if there's anything that they need to adjust from there. And then the owner of the OTT Tune had mentioned that he can put a mode on where when I put my ECT button on, which is here, it's like the towing mode, I guess, right here, that it will change the truck completely. It'll be kind of like a race mode, if you will. So it'll bring the shift point, the upshift point, all the way to red line. So the truck's going to be screaming all the way at the top, and then downshift. So I'll have full use of the power band on the truck. It's a little bit risky to do that because obviously, you know, you don't want to get too close to red line and run the risk of, you know, hurting the engine or transmission or something like that. But, you know, I'm at the point now where I want as much as I can get out of this truck. So I think having that as an option when I'm on a track or in the dirt and I'm really trying to gain speed, I can just hit that button and get everything I can out of the truck. So we're gonna do some data logging now, like I said, with the base tune, and then he said if I like it, then we'll do the ECT tune or the race tune. So stay tuned. Look at this sweet GX. It's a 470. Yeah, Raphael, could you get out of it, please? You're ruining it. This is the man right here. This is the tuner. Wait for it. Now he's shy. But this is his truck, and he's got a Magnuson supercharger on it. Look how cute that is. Supercharged. But this thing's actually awesome. It rips. There he is. Caught him. We're about to do our test drive. Raphael's got the laptop there. And I just wanted to show this. This dirt is from Durham Town last year. So, yep, that's how long it's been since I've properly cleaned the truck. All right, so we're with Raphael in here doing some logging, and we changed the shift point, so check this out. Not crazy fast, but that's the shift point change I was looking for, so far so good. Here you go, you ready? Here, watch this.
Oh, geez. No. Oh, God. Dude.
We're back, and I went into the grass to hit a little jump. Okay, actually, you know what? This is a lot cleaner than I thought it was going to be. But I hit some really tall grass and mud and water and stuff like that. I thought I was going to find a lot more crap under here, but it's actually surprisingly clean. So, but it went really well. And, oh yeah, here you go. There's some dirt back there. It went really, really, really well. And I'm very happy with how the truck feels right now. So, yeah. Let's see what Raphael thought about the test drive. Hey, what'd you think? A little scary?
I gotta change my underwear.
Yeah, I hit a jump and did not tell him that I was gonna do it. So when we were going up to it, there was a little shock there, but it went perfectly fine. We're alive, and we're back to where we were. So all is well. This one's for all the Jeep lovers out there. Okay, so that is done now. And we added the little ECT thing on here. So they told me when I hit this ECT button and that comes on, that the shift point is at the higher RPM, and it will not shift at all no matter how much throttle input I give until it reaches that point. So like I'm in first gear right now, and first gear won't shift until it's at the top. And so I'm back in second gear right now. Second gear, I'm running out of space here, but second gear won't switch until it's at the top end. And then if I want to keep it in ECT and change gears to switch sooner, I can switch over manually on the S thing there. So that's kind of cool. Anyways, again, huge shout out to Raphael for taking the extra time to do all that data logging and to get the truck dialed. So I'm really excited. The day has come to replace the steering rack. I've got the new used one ready. And I also got some boots that I ordered off Amazon to throw over on the new steering rack so that I can keep debris and stuff out of there. I think that's been kind of my main issue, is just not having boots on there and debris ruining the seal. So I'll have that to try out to see if that makes it hold up any longer. And then also, I don't know if you can tell how clean the truck is. I detailed it. I put a little ceramic coating on there, clay bar. Dang, that's actually really clean. See if we can get that reflection. Yeah, and then don't mind all the rock chips on the rear fender. But this thing's nice and clean, ready to get dirty. So I'm not going to highlight really too much of the steering rack replacement. I'm probably just going to set up a time lapse and you guys can watch me suffer in 10 times speed or whatever it is. So let's get that going. Everything's back in the truck. No leaks, no issues. Aside from needing an alignment again. No matter how hard I try when I take these racks out, measuring and trying to put everything back exactly the way it was, it never goes the way it originally was. So I've got an alignment scheduled for tomorrow. I was gonna get the windows ceramic tinted, but you know, that's kind of a last line item. Major thing is just the alignment. So I've got this going on up front with the steering wheel, even though I tied it off and everything. So whoopsie. Oh, and also I put like a little piece of tape here, painter's tape, just to mark again the center, and then bungee corded it, and when I took it off, it peeled the leather off the steering wheel, so that's really annoying. Now I'm gonna have to buy a carbon fiber steering wheel now because that happened. I have no other choice. Oh, I also leveled the truck out a little bit more. So it was kind of gangster leaning on the driver's side for a long time. And I lowered the passenger side to meet the driver's side. It's kind of hard to tell now. My driveway's a little crooked as well, but it's pretty much dead on. And I do have kind of a bit of that little bit of a squat going with all the weight I added in the back. But I don't think it really looks too bad. It's functional. That's all that matters. I'm not going to bring the front of the truck any lower, so this is going to be where it's at. I'm also super nervous because today is the day that the harnesses for the lights are supposed to be delivered, but I haven't gotten an update from USPS in like 2 days, 2 or 2.5 days. So I'm honestly a little bit scared for that. But I'm gonna keep checking it, and I gotta clean the garage. Look at this. Absolute mess. And then I gotta pack up the tools, so I'm here at the alignment shop and Doug's alignment in Sanford, and they're gonna get the truck all straightened out after my steering rack replacement. So there's no one else I trust besides this place. They do great work, so hopefully there isn't too much work for him to do, and I can get back on the road. I really wish I could have shown more of the process and filmed a lot more, but it's just been crunch time for way too long. And today's the day actually that I'm supposed to leave, and I got good news that my harnesses from Blaze Off-Road are at the local post office, and so I called them and had them hold the package. So at 9 o'clock when they open up here in the next few minutes, I'm gonna head up there and pick up the harnesses, so I don't have to wait until 2:30 when they come by the house to drop them off, because I'm leaving for Durham Town today with Ethan. So I did a couple of things just to prep for the harnesses. I had some extra S2s, and these are actually sports, not pros. I just put the sport lenses on there because I ended up using those that originally were flush mounts, and I ended up using the pros back here instead of the sports for the flush mount. So I've got those up there. I had to cut a few of the adapters on these S2s to wire everything the way I wanted. So I robbed those from those, and then I went ahead and spliced these S1s and S2s together. Holy cow, focus iPhone. So that it's just one plug, because I don't ever see me wanting to just turn these on versus these, you know. I kind of want it all to be at the same time and just use one harness. So that's what I've done with that. And what else? Yeah, so I'm gonna have about 45 minutes or so before I have to leave the house after I pick up the harnesses. And what I'm gonna focus on is wiring up the LP4s. So I want to wire up the LP4s and get the daytime running lights working. And then tonight, when I get to Georgia with Ethan, I'm gonna wire up the chase lights, so I at least have those, and then go from there. And I just want to shout out again Locked Off-Road, Riley, for taking such good care of me and helping me build this shock package for the truck and tune it as well. And of course, Blaze Off-Road. Blaze Off-Road has been is a newer company that I've been working with, and I'm honestly honored to be able to work with them, and they've just done so much for me. I can't even claim that I've wired the truck because the kits that they sell, I mean, they do all the work for you. It's just plug and play. So I'm not even claiming credit for wiring this truck because they've practically done everything for me. All I have to do is plug everything in. So huge shout out to Blaze Off-Road. I really appreciate you guys. Well, well, well. Guys, look at this. Look at that. Labeled and everything. Holy cow. This is so sick. I'm speechless. Oh my goodness. Look at all that. Oh yeah, some candy, a little bit of swag. This is the most important thing, right? Sticker. Look at that. Holy cow. All right, let's throw some wires on this thing. We made it to Durham town, and it is day one. Ethan and Jackson are over there with the Ranger. They got a lot of sick trucks out here. That's my buddy Darren, his Silverado. And then we got a bunch of Raptor boys out here.
All right, guys, welcome to the 2024 Dust Devil. Thanks for being here. You are out for the weekend of your life.